Week 21 across the NWSL means every point matters in the push toward the playoffs. Perhaps especially for the Orlando Pride, as they are desperately trying to get back in the win column for the first time since mid-June. Tonight, they will host the North Carolina Courage, separated by just 4 points in the table. The defending champs have been tested mightily this second half, falling from their comfy position near the top of the table for most of the season, all the way down to 7th place entering this week. The Pride are winless in their last 8 games with a total of 5 goals in that span. The Courage finally broke through last week with a 2-1 win against Angel City. That snapped a 6-game winless skid for North Carolina and put them just 1 point out of a playoff spot. It's the Pride and the Courage right after this. Welcome back to Inter & Co Stadium with longtime Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey. I'm Jamie Hirsch. Thanks for joining us on a Friday night from wherever you are across the globe right now. Match day 21 across the NWSL, so no better time to take a look at this table. And how about the fact that teams 3 through 6 are all tied at 30 points apiece? Orlando right behind them at 29 points, sitting in 7th. But Gary, a win tonight for the Courage puts them into that final playoff spot.
It does, and they'll be a point behind Orlando Pride. For Orlando, a win puts them above all those teams on 30 into 3rd position. So a massive, massive difference for both teams who are looking for some glory, some run, especially for Orlando Pride. Cannot believe that the champions are sitting in 7th position.
Yeah, that's because they're reeling right now, winless in 8 straight matches. They are certainly hoping their newest addition, Jackie Ovalle, will be able to help them.
He's got a wonderful left foot. Brilliant, brilliant player. Had the assist for the Ali Watt header in the last league match against Bay FC. She can score, she can cross, she can slip balls in behind defenses for Ali Watt and for Marta. A wonderful addition, and imagine when Barbara Banda's fit and Ovalle is playing alongside her. What a combination that will be.
Yeah, that certainly would be something. You mentioned Barbara Banda out, of course, with a season-ending injury, and she is not the only big name unavailable. Kylina Danner, Rafaeli, Priska Chalufia, among others who are missing from this starting lineup. This is what Seb Hines is going with.
He's going with 2 changes from the team that drew with Bay FC. Anna Morehouse back in goals. McKinley Crone goes to the bench, and then Emily Sams back again. As you mentioned, Rafaela unavailable, ankle injury. So yeah, a number of key players missing, but still a quality side there. Focus on those 3 up front. Marta, the wonderful Marta, Ali Watt, and Ovalle.
As for the Courage, they are rolling out the same lineup as last week's win against Angel City, except for 1 change up top, and you're looking at her, Courtney Vine.
She's going to play in that number 9 role that Brianna Pinto played in last week. Pinto now injured. Going to try and hold that ball up and bring in the likes of Monarca from midfield. So a big role for Courtney Vine to play. And as you mentioned, just the 1 change there. Marissa Jordan keeps her place in goal. She's told she will keep it as long as she keeps playing well. Of course, Monaka, 6 goals, 4 assists from midfield. What a season she is having.
Absolutely, yeah. Marissa Jordan now 3rd straight start. And as you mentioned, it's her spot to lose, according to Nathan Thackeray at the moment. Casey Murphy will sit on the bench again for a 3rd straight week. On the other side, Anna Morehouse will be in goal for the Orlando Pride after sitting out for the first time all season last week. So I guess both coaches just kind of maybe playing the mental game a bit with their goalkeeping options.
Yeah, put their keepers under pressure to perform, and as you do with any other position on the pitch.
The Courage will be in the pink tonight. The Orlando Pride rocking their home purple kits. Marta on the ball, waiting to kick us off here from Inter & Co Stadium on a Friday night in Orlando. Matt Thompson, your head referee. And again, Gary Bailey, Manchester United legend, I'm told, along for the ride here. I'm Jamie Hirsch, and thank you once again to all of you tuning in from around the world. These two teams met back in May. That game ended in a 1-1 draw. But oh, how things have changed since then. We're underway from Orlando, Florida. The defending champs at this point just focused on making the playoffs, as they have had a bit of a fall from grace atop the standings. Not only winless in their last 8, but only 5 goals. They used to score at will.
Well, those are the days when they had Barbara Banda starting for them.
Fair
although
point.
She did feature in a few of their recent draws, but without her, they've hit a real slump. They've struggled to find the goals. They've played some good football along the way, to be fair to Orlando Pride. But when you're missing one of the best players in the world, Barbara Banda, it's going to impact any team.
Yeah, we've seen a couple teams dealing with significant injuries. Kansas City playing without Temwa Chawinga last week. Good battle, but Haley McCutcheon gets called there.
And just to your point about form, with Orlando, no wins in the last 8 in the league, 4 draws, 4 losses. That's a terrible run for the double champions. They won both the league and the playoff last season. And then Courage's away form, just 1 win in the last 6. So it's hard to predict who is the likely winner from this match. There's 2 teams who desperately need the win just to pick up their form and their confidence.
And I can imagine it's a balancing act to have desperation without becoming too loose or letting it affect you adversely. Let's look at Tyler Lucy, who has certainly had a nice season. North Carolina in a time of transition, not only among the personnel on the field, but certainly the coaching staff as well. Sean Nahas fired abruptly back in August. Nathan Thackeray stepping in as interim. This is his 7th game at the helm.
When we were chatting to him, he said, well, it's not just a coaching change. We've lost our captain, Denise O'Sullivan, our starting left back, and German international Feli Rauch. They've traded players like Sydney Collins and Jaden Shaw. Ashley Sanchez is injured. It's been a really difficult time for North Carolina Courage, with a lot of changes. Yes, you get injuries, and Orlando Pride have injuries, but they've had more than that. Coaching changes, top players moving. It's a disturbing time, but they've got to play through it, because that's part of professional football. You have to deal with these off-the-field pressures.
And it's part of this league, is players have a bit more agency deciding where they want to play. Nathan Thackeray telling us this week, we want players who want to be here. And we're about building for the present, but we're also about building for the future. He mentioned some of their new additions are a big part of that. Natalie Jacobs coming over in a trade with Houston. She is available to come off the bench should the Courage call her name.
I have to mention one thing that might impact a little bit on this game. Midweek, Orlando Pride had a trip out to play in the CONCACAF Women's Champions League. And whilst they didn't play many of the first teamers, there was one or two who did play. Shavoshi in defense, she had 90 minutes and Yane had 45. And Seb Hines saying, well, the travel as well, getting back. It's just been a little bit of a hectic week for some of those players.
Here's Emily Sams. Orlando working into the attacking third. Here's the cross. Courage able to clear. Yeah, it's not ideal to not only have to play in NWSL, but then very quickly hop on a flight to Panama and play there Tuesday, hop back on a flight. I mean, that's the cost of being a champion, I suppose.
And playing in the Champions League. But as I said, most of the first teamers were given rest time. A few of them went, 3 played. A few more would have come off the bench, perhaps. So it's not too stressful. As I said, I don't think it has. Right. I don't think it'll have a massive impact today. But you never know. Sometimes just the sheer fact you're on a plane and packing bags can take a little edge off your energy level.
They may want to lean into the positive side of the fact that they had their way in Panama to the tune of a 5-0 victory. Marta. Marta assessing her options. Goes cross pitch. And watching the ball go into the net 5 times, even if it is outside of league play, I can imagine has a really good impact on a team that has been struggling to score lately.
Well, Summer Yates got a hat-trick, so good for her if she comes on second half off the bench. One player who did score, who's on the field today, Ali Limos, she got a goal in the 45 minutes spell in which she was on the pitch. Yeah, it doesn't do you any harm in terms of confidence, but it's a different level of soccer, of football, to be honest. It's not quite as high as NWSL, sure. So I don't think the players will read too much into it.
Orlando ball after a scuffle near the center of the pitch. Ali Limos wearing the protective face gear, and you mentioned her goal, actually her first professional goal, so certainly a nice moment for her.
Nathan Thackeray looking on, the interim coach.
Ball too much on it, unable to be kept in play.
Just chatting to Nathan the other day, us as of all the commentary team, and he was very positive, great to talk to. We were asking him about tactics. He said, to be honest, with us just being outside of the playoffs, it's all about taking chances. He said, I'm not going to try and impose a different way of playing, nothing at all. All I want is to, when the ball does get in the box, I want someone to tuck it away in the back of the net, because we have to pick up 3 points as often as possible if we're going to make the playoffs.
Riley Jackson fending off Marta. And similarly, Seb Hines said, we're just going back to basics. At this point, it's about scoring, and frankly, it's about scoring first. They are 7-0, the Pride are, when scoring first this season. And he feels they've been chasing the game a bit too much.
To be honest, I think the one big difference without Barbara Banda is you can't play on the counter-attack that easily, because what they could do, Orlando Pride, was let you attack them, and then with her power and pace, they could then catch you on the counter-attack, and she's almost impossible to stop because she was so quick, and then she could hold you off. She's a former professional boxer, would you believe it, Barbara Banda. So getting her off the ball was very difficult. They don't have that now, so now they have to play the ball in, use a little bit of Ali Watt's pace, the skills, the wonderful skills of Jackie Ovaye and Marta. And that's been proving a little bit more difficult in the last few games, that they have the chances. To your point, they haven't taken them and put them in the back of the net.
Well, Seb Hines' Pride's, no pun intended, his Pride teams play on being a defensive first mindset. But you're right, it obviously changes things without having the 8 goals that Barbara Banda had to that point of the season when she went down, and just the natural threat that she poses every time she takes the pitch. Ball lifted ahead.
I was just talking about that with Nathan Thackeray. He says, without Banda, you know what? We can attack more. It's as simple as that. When she's on the pitch, you have to have two bodies on her at least. You've got to get cover. You've got to be where she is. Without her, you're a lot more relaxed. And as we made the point, you can attack more often. You can throw more bodies forward. So, again, to the point that without her, it's a huge loss for Orlando Pride.
Now the Courage on the attack. Manaka, certainly a threat in her own right, to the tune of 6 goals on the season, one of which came just last week. Jackson lifts it into a wide open Linehan. Popped it up into the air, and it is grabbed by Morehouse.
It was a chance for Peyton Linehan there, and just her 4th appearance for the Courage to have hit that ball a little bit better into the box. Put a lot of height on it, and it was always going to be Anna Moorhouse's to win. She's onside, does all that one. Now here's the moment. That ball there, if it's a flatter trajectory, it gives her strikers a chance to attack it, and it was too high, easy for the keeper.
Another chance now for Manaka, and a great save from Morehouse. Rebound loose, and she grabs it again.
Manaka, you mentioned her 6 goals and 4 assists. This should have been goal number 7. She's free in the box there, edge of the box, hits it at the keeper. She hits it left or right of Anna Moorhouse. Every chance she scores, but she'll wish for that one back, Manaka.
Could have been another early game goal for the Japanese international. She scored in the 6th minute last week. Courage added another later to make it 2-0 in the first 20 minutes, and they never looked back.
And to Nathan Thackeray's point, he says when he said to us about, I'm not looking for any specific wonderful soccer, football, I want goals because we need points. That, for him, is where they need to be better.
Yeah.
Around the goal. Look, Seb Hines says the same, but they create more chances, Orlando Pride. Nathan's point is we don't get that many chances, but we get some good ones. When we get them, we have to take them, and they didn't. You just wonder, will they pay a price for that come the end of this match?
There's a look at the head coach for the Pride. Seb Hines leading his team to a championship just last season. And this his 3rd full season with Orlando.
Once again, Manaka causing problems. She has turned out to be their player of the season. And actually turns out that she kicked Angelina, not the other way around. It looked like she got brought down and she got the free kick. Just watching it again, she kicks the back of Angelina's foot, and maybe that is what Seb Hines is having a discussion with the 4th referee about.
We play on. Courage ball, and Manaka involved yet again. Be a goal kick for the Pride.
Just to give you an idea of how the Pride have struggled in terms of their form. And Morehouse and company, they won their first 4 matches of the season as Nathan Thackeray looks on. It took them 16 matches after that to get the next 4 wins.
Wow.
It's crazy how they went from double champions last year and winning the first 4 to really struggling. In fact, their points from match day 5th put them 10th on the table. Who would have thought that? The champions with the likes of the wonderful Marta. And at that stage, Barbara Banda was still fit enough to play.
Haley McCutcheon spoke to us a few weeks ago in the midst of this slide and said, you know, we have to look in the mirror right now and not just tell ourselves that teams are game planning for us because we're the defending champs. No, we are not playing well enough, and we need to figure out what we look like without Barbara. Sure, she is a star on this team, maybe even the face of this team. Hard to say that when you have Marta as well, but she can't be the only identity of this team, and that's what Haley's point was, is we need to figure out who we are and how we can have success without her. It's obviously taking them a while to solve that.
I'm not sure they have solved it yet. I think they're still trying to solve it.
Nice chance briefly for Watt before it's cleared out by the Courage. Ali Watt, scoring last week in the Pride's match with Bay. Angelina lifts it in. Tried to connect with Marta and headed right back out by Shinomi. That shot off the mark.
Hayley McCutcheon there just having an effort from outside the box. Not quite what she was looking for. But just looking back at that Bay match you mentioned, a 1-1 draw at home, frustrating for them, but a very good headed goal from Ali Watt. The cross coming from Jackie Ovaye, of course, with her lovely left foot. But they did have an XG, expected goals, of about 0.4 higher than the opposition. So they had been creating. And that's Seb Heinz's point, is they've looked the more likely to score. They hit the post a couple of times. Marta hit the post. Ovaye hit the post. So they had a couple of goals disallowed. One for handball, one for offside. So they certainly probably deserve more than they've been getting, to Orlando Pride.
Courage looking a bit casual within their own 18 there. When you have the likes of Marta threatening, not sure their head coach would advise that.
Again, they don't look as dangerous as when Barbara Banda was hunting.
True.
It was, again, her physical strength and incredible pace. The number of times that she's nicked balls off people's players' toes or bumped them off the ball when they were playing at the back. And to Nathan Thackeray's point, you know, when she's not playing, you don't have to worry so much about your defense. You can start to, A, take a few more risks playing out the back, and B, just push numbers higher up the pitch.
McCutcheon's pass off the mark. Oyane goes to get it. North Carolina has certainly struggled in their own right. You mentioned their troubles on the road, but even overall, their win over Angel City last week actually snapped a 6-game winless skid.
And the first one under the acting coach, the interim coach, Nathan Thackeray. So I'm sure, A, he was pleased, and they might feel that was a turning point for them. They had a couple of draws before that. They might feel, you know what, we're now beginning to get things together. We've settled down after the coaching change from Sean Nahas and important players like Jaden Shaw leaving.
It was their first match since the departure of Jaden Shaw, so take that for what you will. Shaw certainly fitting in very quickly in her new team, scoring in her Gotham debut last week. Here's Marta trying to fend off Linehan. Gets around her. Abello. And McCutcheon has it knocked out.
Looks like a decent crowd there at Interenco Stadium. The drums playing behind the goal there of Marissa Jordan.
Marta. Ross Lemos takes a shot that goes wide. Well, according to the Pride's social media accounts, they are expecting a record crowd tonight.
Well, it's certainly a decent turnout. Not sure the exact numbers, but you can see the crowd all over the stadium. And as I say, that noisy, fun crowd right behind Marissa Jordan's goal. That one there just didn't quite connect with it. Just goes harmlessly wide of the far post there from Ali Lemos.
Lemos signing a contract extension to stay with the Pride back in June. Kaylee Kurtz. Kaylee Kurtz made some history last week and adds to that history tonight, making her 109th consecutive start. That is an NWSL record. Again, she set the new record last week. We'll see how far she can take it. Working on her 4th straight Iron Woman season, Gary.
That's phenomenal. That is to be a good professional, if you can play every minute of every game in one season, that's class. But to do it 4 years running, that's superwoman stuff. Absolutely stunning.
Watt trying to make something happen. Has it taken away. Manaka held on to. And the yellow shown to Angelina.
A little bit too much tugging. I don't think there was just one pull there. Let's have a look. I think it sort of continued. There's a pull, there's a hold, there's a tug, there's a tug. She's still holding.
4 or 5 fouls.
Yeah, it's, but that's also fine, as long as the referee maintains that standard, Matt Thompson. So if we see another tug somewhere else, then the yellow card must come out. And I think players are fine with that, as long as there's that consistency.
Here's Jackson. Linehan pressured by Abello. Feeds Jackson. Manaka. Kurtz. Vine had it taken away. Courage get it back momentarily.
Manaka's so sharp there in midfield. Nathan Thackeray saying to us he thinks he's got the youngest midfield in the league. Riley Jackson 19, Manaka 21, Shinomi 20.
Wow.
3 players average age 20, and look how good Manaka is, and side by side with Riley Jackson and Shinomi, they really do like control that midfield, pass the ball nice and quickly, hunt in packs. Very impressive for such young players.
I remember at one point earlier this season, the now former Courage head coach Sean Nahas said, Manaka is the purest footballer I have ever coached, which is quite the compliment.
Well, to score 6 and have 4 assists playing from midfield is brilliant. Does that mean if you were playing up front, you'd be delighted with those figures, but to come from midfield and score that often, goals against Angel City, a 2-1 win, and Chicago, the 3-3, and 2 goals against Chicago in an earlier match. So I don't think Chicago like the sight of Manaka at all.
At 5'1", she is small but mighty. What's that in meters?
5'1", you know you're asking me.
You were told there would be no math, right?
I know. I'm 6'2", and I think I'm 1.9 meters, so
We'll say 1.5.
I'll have to check it out. Give me a minute.
Lemos to Marta. Angelina plays it ahead. Marta racing to get there first. Knocked out by Jackson.
The answer is 1.55 meters.
Thank you. So 1.5. I was okay.
Right, yeah.
Close.
Very close, yeah. Do you have a temperature? Then we can start doing some more calculations from Fahrenheit into Celsius.
Definitely can't do that.
Does look a lovely evening, though.
Yes.
We're not far away from Orlando, so we know that the temperatures are very pleasant. What would you say? Mid-70s, low 80s, which would be 24, 25 degrees Celsius. A beautiful evening to play.
Courage trying to clear it out. Vine locked in a battle with Sam. Sams wins the battle. Stops up. Abello tries to settle. Linehan takes it away. Into the box momentarily. Now McCutcheon has it outside the 18. Angelina for Watt, the one-touch pass that was intercepted. Back come the Courage.
That's Angelina. She's going to get a warning now because she's already on a yellow. Yeah, Kaylee Kurtz is adding it up for the referee. Ref, in case you can't count, she's on a
One
yellow.
and one.
Now, this is always the problem. Oh, it's a bit late. It's always the problem when you're on a yellow and you get an unnecessary early yellow. You have to be so careful. And I think, I'm guessing Matt Thompson said to her, that was close. If you weren't on a yellow, you probably would have got your first yellow. I think referees are right not to give it too quickly, but it's a final warning. So, Angelina, be extremely careful with your next tackle.
And you could see Marta telling Angelina, okay, go take a walk.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want to do is argue with the referee at that point.
100%.
Not to mention what that would do to her team's chances at this early stage of the game. Five weeks remain after this week in the regular season, so time winding down, and you can feel the intensity starting to creep in to each of these matches.
Well, there's a lot of teams who aren't safe. When you look at the table, there's, if any team goes on a bit of a bad run, Orlando Pride have 29 points, but Seattle, San Diego, Portland, Gotham have only 1 point more.
Isn't that incredible? 4 teams tied at 30.
Yeah, but they're not that far away from North Carolina Courage, who are the one place outside.
Right.
So they're on 25. They're only 5 points behind all those teams. Now, you have a bad spell, and Courage make up those 5 points with 2 wins. Suddenly you find yourself right on the edge of qualification.
Incredible parity in the league. The cross headed right back out by Kurtz, denying what looked to be a bit of a dangerous opportunity. Sams will try to go right back at it. Up ahead for Angelina, racing in, dribbling. Ball is loose momentarily and cleared out. Angelina across for Abello, able to keep it in play. Stops up, here's the cross, and into the arms of Jordan.
That was a good chance for Orlando Pride. Lovely build-up down this right-hand side here. And Ovalle gets behind the defense, gets into the box. She's head up. She's looking for someone to pass to, and it gets blocked by Kurtz. And they still maintain the ball. But Ovalle, look at her. She's looking, eyes open. How can I find anyone? She was trying to find McCutcheon, but eventually the defenders blocked that one. Good move, though, from the home side.
Yeah, a lot of excitement surrounding the woman they call La Maga in Mexico, which means the magician. Ovalle coming over to the tune of a world record transfer fee of $1.5 million. Now the Courage on the attack. Brian Williams sends it back to Kurtz. Cut off by Marta, who's grabbed in the process.
Marta's saying, hang on a second, the tug earlier was a yellow. This is the consistency that players might get upset with. Why is that not a yellow? And maybe the tug, okay, maybe he is going to give a yellow. I take it back. Well done, Matt Thompson. There's consistency there. I think as a player, you have to see the yellow card come out for somebody else and go, I better not do that because the referee has set the tone.
Right.
And basically, he says a tug like that is equal to a yellow card. Then you mustn't do that. Otherwise, as Danny Weatherholt realizes, you'll also get a yellow card.
Yes, so it will be a yellow card for Danny Weatherholt.
Looks like there's a little bit of a water break for both teams. Well, there's an injury problem, and as you mentioned, in the low 20s Celsius, so it's a fairly warm evening, and you will lose a lot of fluid while you're running around, so always good to replace it.
Well, going back to what we were saying with Ovalle, the sky's the limit really with her. Looks like Angelina sits up and gets hydrated herself. Here's what happened.
It's an obvious tug right in front of the referee. I mean, it's not like it's even subtle or hidden. I just wonder with Angelina and now picking up a knock whether Seb Hines isn't thinking, not only is she on a yellow, she's on a warning as well, and she's picked up a bit of a knock. Do we go to the bench early in the game? There's a number of good options as always for Orlando Pride on the bench. They have great depth, but Luana's there, the wonderful Brazilian. Summer Yates after her hat-trick midweek. Julie Doyle, Villacorta. They've got lots of options. Carson Peckett, there's a wonderful player.
We shall see what Seb Hines decides.
6-7 months in the life of a coach is a long time. As double champions last year, setting records every which way, winning their first 4 matches of the season. He must have thought, oh, this game's easy. And since then, everything's gone wrong for Orlando Pride.
Well, I think we have learned collectively as football fans over the past few weeks that you can't take a game off in this league. We've seen teams like Chicago, Utah, now Houston. I mean, they've played spoiler week in and week out. Shinomi up ahead for Manaka, goes down. Orlando comes away with it.
It wasn't much of an appeal though, so I don't think it'll be a penalty, but it did seem for a second there might have been contact.
No call made.
If the player herself is not going to appeal, then clearly
True.
she feels that there wasn't enough contact for it to be a penalty. And by the way, you talk about some of the teams. Chicago Stars early in the season were really struggling. They have been magnificent in recent weeks. Utah Royals as well. Some of this football they've been playing, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, you don't have to tell Orlando Pride fans about Chicago's success lately. 2 weeks ago, Chicago took it to the defending champs to the tune of a 5-2 victory.
And all the goals coming in the second half as well.
Incredible.
What a game. Chicago were 3-0 down in Seattle. Came back in the last 18 minutes to draw 3-3. Now, this is interesting. So we're going to go back to this here. Now, there was an appeal, but no, I don't think there's contact there. I think that's a dive. And I'm surprised VAR has called the referee's attention to it, because I'm sure they can see there was no contact.
Well, they do want to make sure. It's certainly a pivotal moment in this game.
And if there was contact, the move from Monaco was literally a second afterwards. So I don't think the contact was enough to bring her down.
There's the...
But the foot stopped there, so let's have a look again. Stopped and got pulled back, and then she goes down. I don't think there's enough there. I think the defender pulls her foot away. But these days with VAR, if they feel there's contact, the player herself doesn't even appeal, so which makes me think that she knows there wasn't enough contact, but nonetheless up to the referee to decide. I think it would be harsh if it's given, to be honest, but there does seem to be at that point there possible.
But was it enough to actually make her fall down? That is the question.
And I think the answer is no, because she then steps and then have a look. She steps and then throws her legs back. So I don't think so, to be honest.
Well, the referee agrees with you.
No penalty. Oh,
no penalty. We will play on.
Good. I think that is the right decision.
And Zara Chavoshi and the entire Pride side take a collective sigh of relief.
But it is a warning or a reminder for defenders that once the ball enters the box, you don't go diving in unless you are sure to get the ball. You're much safer just standing up, holding the player, stopping them from getting a shot. Anyway, play continues.
We play on into the 34th minute from Inter & Co Stadium in Orlando, Florida. Once again, I'm Jamie Hirsch alongside Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey. This match with some pretty big playoff implications. Haley McCutcheon. Pass picked off by Linehan. North Carolina entering the week 1 point out of a playoff spot. And the Orlando Pride just 4 points ahead of North Carolina. We've come to the point of the season where every week is must-see TV across the league.
And I think it'll go on like this every week right until the final day. Even on the final day, I think there's going to be a whole bunch of different possibilities because it's so tight. So many good teams. I mean, even the bad teams, if you call them that, have now become good teams.
Right.
Chicago and Utah are playing absolutely brilliantly.
And that's what you want to see, is incredible parity throughout the league. Ovalle. The cross. Nobody there.
Oh, it's a good ball. Marta puts her hand up to Ovalle. And I just felt there for a second, Orlando Pride, they were all in a line, the strikers. Have a look at the shirts. They need to sort of stagger. One goes in, one stays out, but they seem to be in a line. McCutcheon, Watt. And there was a chance there maybe for Marta to have made a run into the box. She stood at the very back, not impacting play. Ovalle probably feels that her teammates could have been a little bit quicker to respond to her, because that was a lovely ball in.
But maybe that's a part of the chemistry that needs time to build.
100%. And Barbara Banda has been their go-to header in the box because she's so powerful. So you'd aim for her every time. Without her, Ovalle probably doesn't know who to knock the ball to, so she just puts it into an area hoping that someone's in that space.
Jackie Ovalle is a fixture on the Mexican national team. Played for the Tigres for the last 8 years and scored over 100 goals, Gary, in the Mexican League.
Yeah, you can tell that she's a wonderful striker of the ball. That left foot is magic. And again, one day when Barbara Banda's fit and you've got Ovalle on one side, March on the other, Ali Watt probably making runs or coming on as an impact sub. Wow, that team will take some stopping.
Kaylee Kurtz. Lifts it ahead. Linehan racing, trying to stay onside. Marta bumps her off the ball.
How good is Marta? 39 years of age, and she tracks all the way back. Super professional. Obviously, incredible number of games for Brazil, over 130 caps. So look at this. She works so hard. She doesn't wait for anybody else to come and cover. She gets it. She makes the tackle. What an example to young players she is.
39 years young. The greatest to ever play the game. Still getting it done. First corner coming for the Courage. Shinomi delivers. Headed right out by Watt. Now in transition, here come the Pride. That ball out of the reach of Watt. Ryan Williams hands it to her goalkeeper. Lucy. Some contact there, and the whistle blows. Kurtz. Some pressure from Watt. Jordan opts to clear it out.
That's a good high press there from Ali Watt, and the goalkeeper doing the right thing. If you're not sure, don't start dribbling in your 6-yard box. Just boot the ball out of touch or into touch.
Emily Sams. Pride trying to regroup. Lemos to Oyane, back to Lemos. Lemos lifts it ahead. McCutcheon. Now Marta, dancing on the ball, tries to make a move. Too strong.
That final touch isn't there for Orlando Pride. In times gone by at home, they would hammer teams. They'd have you pegged back for most of the game, but the best chances, I think, have fallen for the Courage. They had that penalty appeal that was close, but not a penalty. They had the Monaco shot that went straight at Anna Morehouse.
You can see Marta's reaction. Yeah, Haley McCutcheon saying, we have to create more. She feels they've been a bit rushed in the final third. And it's just that final cross or the final connection that's not happening for them. So they're trying to go back to basics and slow it down.
Well, just to prove your point, the expected goals at this moment in the match, 0.05 for Orlando Pride,
man.
0.07 for North Carolina Courage. So neither team really doing much in attack.
So if you like defense, this is the game for you, folks.
They're certainly trying, Orlando Pride. And again, to Seb Hines' point, there's some nice approach play, such as this. It's good from Marta getting in there, tempting a push or a shove and winning a free kick. But that final little the ball into the box, the finishing shot, it's just not happening for Orlando Pride as yet. Long way to go in this match, of course. Just one shot on target for either side, and that's gone to North Carolina Courage. That shot, as you mentioned, Monaco straight into Anna Morehouse's hands.
And I believe just the one corner, too. So not a ton of high danger chances or opportunities from either side. Here's Ovalle to deliver the free kick. Into a dangerous area, but headed out by Weatherholt. Angelina lifts it in once more, headed out by Weatherholt. We did have a bit of a lengthy stoppage as Angelina received some medical attention, so we'll see what the stoppage time ends up being in this first half. Marta. Chavoshi. Chavoshi. Deep ball headed toward goal by McCutcheon, but no real threat, and Jordan handles it with ease.
Yeah, Ali Watt was saying, you got to head it to me, not head it into space. And I think Marta was saying, head it back to me, I was available. Unfortunately, it was headed straight to Marissa Jordan. Again, a little bit of misunderstanding at that crucial area for Orlando Pride, in and around the box. It just, approach work is good, but once they get to the box, it's just not the quality that coach Seb Hines would have wanted.
Some coaches say scoring is contagious. Well, I wonder if not scoring can be contagious as well.
Oh, it certainly can. You feel more and more pressure as a striker. Maybe Summer Yates with her hat-trick midweek in the Champions Cup would be the right person to bring on second half, because she should be confident after those
Exactly.
3 goals.
Ryan Williams to throw it in for the Courage. Shinomi back to Jordan. Lucy has it stripped. Kaylee Kurtz will settle. Jackson. And a turnover as Orlando has the throw-in. Marta comes away with the loose ball. Tried to find Ovalle, but it was out of her reach. Lemos to Ovalle. In the corner, along the goal line. Jordan the save, it's still loose, and what a save for the Courage! How about that for a true team effort? My goodness.
Ovalle does so well. Look, she's going to put a one-touch pass. There you go. Into space. Ball gets whipped across. Goalkeeper makes a decent save, and then off the line. Absolutely brilliant there. Great defending. Goalkeeper just spills that one there, but then gets up and tries to block it.
Macy Bell, good grief.
Fantastic. A stunning defensive play.
Jordan owes her a steak dinner after that, I would say. Did you have any steak dinners bought or that you had to buy for any of your defenders?
Oh, I've worked 15 years as a professional. I think I made a whole bunch of mistakes. Probably cost me a fortune buying my defenders drinks or food.
Would you consider that a mistake, or that just was an unfortunate
You know what?
bounce?
It's a very difficult one, and I think all goalkeepers struggle with that, because it's a decent save, but you push it into danger and it causes you problems. So most goalkeeper coaches would say you've got to hang on to it, but sometimes it's difficult. People are trying to score. There's boots flying everywhere. You take your eye off the ball, you spill it, and then it's chaos after that. So it's not the worst goalkeeping, but it probably also isn't the best goalkeeping, but it's not easy. It takes a lot of bravery to keep your eyes on the ball when people are about to kick your head off.
Doesn't sound pleasant, Gary.
No, it's not.
You goalkeepers are built different.
Yeah, well, we're called all sorts of names.
Aww.
Crazy, mad, idiots, whatever. I do understand their thinking.
Ryan Williams with pace forces Morehouse to come out to grab it.
Idea was good. A little bit too close to Anna Morehouse there from Ryan Williams. Courtney Viner made a great run through the middle. A little better weighted ball with a little bit of curve on it to come back to Courtney Viner. Could have been the moment for Courage to take the lead.
Morehouse. Ali Watt made some pretty heavy contact and went to ground.
I think she got an elbow in her back, the way the defender had turned it. She was leading Kaylee Kurtz with her elbow. It's probably more of a winding. We will see it again, we can be sure. Medical staff keeping a close eye on things, and especially after last weekend, when we had a real medical emergency in the Seattle versus Racing Louisville match, and Savannah DeMello just collapsing on the pitch, and quite rightly the NWSL calling that match off and continuing it on Tuesday night. Welfare of the players coming first.
And certainly our thoughts are with Savannah DeMello and her family as they continue to await test results, get some answers as to what happened.
She's been struggling all season with certain health issues, and clearly it impacted her on the match on the weekend.
Certainly a critical part of that Racing Louisville side that is clinging to a playoff spot. And they're one of those teams that has just kind of been hanging around that line all season. But certainly at some point they're going to need to get a win if they want to make the playoffs. Here's another look.
Yeah, you can see the elbow there going into her ribs. Kaylee Kurtz just turning her body, leading with that elbow and knocking the wind completely out of Ali Watt there.
By the way, Louisville does still play yet tonight. They'll be visiting Utah. Good to see Ali Watt coming off under her own power. A couple more minutes added to this first half.
Just looking at Anna Moorhouse out of her goal. She needs to get back in her goal quickly before that ball gets dropped.
Ali Watt, the former Courage player.
Also played for Melbourne City. Those who are watching Down Under might remember her.
Interesting story too with Watts, the fact that she was actually traded to the new team going to Denver next season, was traded to Denver earlier this summer and then loaned back to Orlando to complete this season. But Denver fans, certainly a lot to look forward to next year. Ali Watt being one of them.
Lots for us to look forward to. Two new teams coming into the league. It makes the league bigger and better and more exciting.
Yes, the total of 16 teams will play in the NWSL next year. Boston getting another team, and Denver welcoming professional women's soccer to town. Here's Linehan. Makes a move. Across for Weatherholt. Into the box. Lucy. It's the side of the net.
It's a poor cross, and I thought maybe it took a deflection for a corner, but it went straight out. So Tyler Lucy, expect better than her. She's better than that, rather. She's such a good player. 2 goals already this season, but has the ability to get down that left-hand side and whip crosses, normally very good crosses in. So I don't know what happened with that one.
Ball being headed back and forth. Both teams trying to gain possession here in the final minutes of the first half. Kaylee Kurtz plays it ahead. Cut off by Sams. You can hear the crowd getting actively involved, trying to will their team to a goal. Here's Watt. Sams back out to Watt. Watt the cross, lifting it in, but nobody there to connect.
There might have been an offside from earlier in that move, but again, it's just not got that finishing touch for Orlando Pride. Lots of effort, lots of good creativity up until the 18-yard box, and then just not happening for the home side.
Well, that'll do it for the first half between the North Carolina Courage and the Orlando Pride. Bit of a chess match in the early going. We shall see what the second half holds. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Orlando, Florida, where the home side sits scoreless against the North Carolina Courage after the first half. Match day 21 got an early start with Thursday night action between Angel City and the Washington Spirit, and it wasn't just early in the week, it was early in the game when we had some action.
Trinity Rodman brought down there just a little bit too quick. Has the penalty saved, but unfortunately it spins straight back to her. Sticks it in the back of the net.
12th-minute goal put the Spirit on top, but just 2 minutes later, Evelyn Shores has the equalizer.
Giselle Thompson does brilliant down the right-hand side, pulls it back for Evelyn Shores, and she whacks it in the back of the net.
Angel City, one of the teams trying to squeak into the playoffs. They take the lead here.
Terry McKeown trying to block the ball coming in because she knew there was a player right behind her about to score. And unfortunately, own goal there from the Washington centre back, but they weren't done. Look at this ball and look at Croy Bethune's header. That is absolutely brilliant. She gets up and almost turning her body away from the goal, still heads it into the corner.
So Angel City comes away with a point against the number 2 team right now in the league. That draw, by the way, will allow Kansas City to now clinch the Shield. Tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern is when that game kicks off. If Kansas City gets a win, they will indeed clinch the Shield, which I guess we probably could have seen coming about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, they're at home. It's a Seattle Reign side. They're hard to break down, Laura Harvey's side, but you do fancy Kansas City Cone. If they play their top players, again, they might start rotating as they head into the playoffs, but a full KC team at home, got to fancy them to win.
We will be right back for the second half of our game between the Orlando Pride and the North Carolina Courage. Still scoreless after the first 45. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Inter & Co Stadium from Orlando, Florida. Both sides hoping for a big 3 points tonight, which would do wonders for their playoff chances, but scoreless through the first half. Here's some chances.
Just a handful. This one, Monaco from the edge of the box, right in the middle. You fancy if she puts it either side of Anna Morehouse. That could have been the opening goal. Expected to do better. That probably was the best chance for the visitors. Ovaye was always a problem down this right-hand side with her left foot and her dribbling ability. Head up here, looks for options, plays the ball to the far post, and no one had made the run. It was a good cross. No one able to read Ovaye's mind there. So Orlando Pride had a few little moments. This is their best moment. Ovaye again is going to play the ball through there. Gets across from Ayane. Goalkeeper pushes it out, and then off the line, Macy Bell take a bow. Jordan there unable to stop or hold on to the shot, so the goalkeeper, Marissa Jordan, pushes it out. McCutcheon there off the line from Macy Bell.
So a couple of chances for both sides. None have found the back of the net. We'll be right back to see who can strike first in the second half. But you see the 4-1 advantage in shots for the Pride. But just the one shot combined on target. And I guess that tells the story of how things have been going for both sides lately.
Look at the possession as well. Orlando Pride at home only 40%. But yeah, if you're going to have 4 shots, try and get one of them on target at least. And that's been their problem. Pretty football up to the edge of the box. Ineffective inside the box, except for that one chance that Macy Bell kicked off the line.
All right, we will be right back with the start of the second half in Orlando. A great crowd gathered for what they expect to be a record crowd this season. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Orlando, where we are about to kick off the second half between the Pride and the Courage. It's the 9th time this season Orlando has been scoreless at the half. The 4th time, though, in the last 6 games, which tells you they're defending well, sure, but they just are not scoring. And that has been a real point of contention for Seb Hines. He said it to us earlier, we want to score the first goal. Well, they haven't scored in the first half. We're underway in the second half, and we'll see what kind of press or attack they come out with, Gary.
Yeah, they're at home. They have to be the ones that chase the match as that ball goes straight through to Anna Morehouse. Their expected goals first half, Orlando Pride 0.28. It's pretty low, although North Carolina Courage at 0.07 with just the Monarca shot, basically. So it's not like Courage have done much themselves, but certainly as a home side, Orlando Pride not really producing many worries. I think the Macy Bell kick off the goal line was the only real moment, and that's probably what most of that expected goal total of 0.28 is. Just one shot on target from either side, and that went to the Courage.
That was the chance for Monarca. And you said it at the time, because I think it was about 10 minutes into the match. You said, I wonder if that will come back to haunt North Carolina, and it just might.
It might do, because they probably won't get too many good chances. And Monarca, the way she's playing, 6 goals, 4 assists, edge of the box, right in the middle, choice of hitting it left or right of Anna Morehouse. And unfortunately for Courage to hit it straight at the goalkeeper. But certainly getting into the box is an issue. Just 6 entrance times that they've gone into the box for the home side and 3 for the visiting side. You need to get in the 18-yard box more often than that. 6 and 3 isn't enough. And I think that's going to be a message from the coaches. Maybe not immediately, but as you start heading towards the end of the game where you want to start chasing it. The only way to get the goal is get bodies in the box, get the ball in there as well.
Whistle blows. Foul called on the Courage. There'll be a free kick for Ali Lemos. Looks like Ovalle will be the one to deliver it. Lamaga into the box. Orlando keeps it for now, able to keep it in play. Sams for Angelina. Lifts it into the box. Marta tries to go back for Ovalle.
Well, there's 2 players you'd love to see knocking the ball to each other. Marta and Ovalle, both trying little back heels and flicks, and nearly came off.
Fancy footwork. We need to see more shots.
That's the problem for both these teams. I assume as the second half goes on, there will be more efforts around goals. Both teams trying to keep it tight defensively, give nothing away. And again, they're sitting in 7th and 9th. One team just above the playoff cut line, Courage just below. So every point absolutely vital to both these teams.
We mentioned the Pride are winless in their last 8 matches. Haven't won a game since June 13th with that lengthy international break we had this summer. But 4 of those were draws. So you could say, okay, they're still getting some points, but Haley McCutcheon told us, we don't need 1 point. We need wins. We need 3 points. So that is certainly the focus. As Angelina lifts that into the air.
Marta conceding the corner there. They've got to be careful as well, Orlando, in terms of what comes up. They've got a week with 3 away matches. San Diego, they're away. Then they're away against CF America in the Champions Cup. And then they're away against Houston Dash. Ideally, you want to be getting 3 points on your home turf and then trying to pick up whatever you can on your travels. So if they get nothing here today, Orlando, they've got 3 tough away matches coming.
Right. A chance now for the Courage. Courtney Vine couldn't get a clean shot off. It comes out to midfield. And remember, Orlando's last match ended in a draw with a team well outside the playoff picture, Bay. And that was another one of those home matches that you'd like to see them come away with the 3 points and not just the 1. That ball pops out, dangerous, as Oyane was trying to take advantage. Courage clear. Angelina tries to go across the pitch with it. Linehan. Back for Williams. Linehan. Beautiful ball up ahead for Lucy. Can she get there? She does. Looking for the cross. Lucy. And headed out.
Well, Monaco with a chance at the far post, but Courtney Vine at the near post thought she had a better chance of getting a header from that cross, and she just seemed to flick off the top of her head through to Monaco. Courtney Vine is there as the number 9, as that target player, and I thought that was a really good opportunity for her.
They will check for a possible handball here.
Well, I'm assuming it's a handball against the defender. Hard to see something. Certainly Courtney Vine looked like she had a header and then it skipped over, so maybe that's where the handball came and the reason why she couldn't get a clear header. Unfortunately, we can't see any pictures. Here we go. Let's have a look. Oh, there as it came in. So it took a bit of a defender. Look at Courtney Vine here. I'm thinking, is she going to get a header? It's because the defender got a touch in front of her. That explains it. I couldn't figure out why she didn't get a clear header on that, but credit Emily Sams. Now,
did she get a hand on that? Oyane right there.
Looks more like it came off her chest. Let's have a look again. Now, how referees see this in normal time, I don't know, but I think that comes off her chest. So
I didn't see the hand either.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they didn't either. So here we go. We play on.
It's amazing what you see when it slows it right down there. Courtney Vine, apologies. I thought she's too good not to have at least got a header on that.
Thing. What happened? Anna Morehouse clears it out. Courage collect again. Shinomi battling Ovalle. Danny Weatherholt. At some point, Gary, would you expect both sides, or maybe certainly more even Orlando, to start pressing a bit more, knowing that they want the win? They don't want to have this end in a scoreless draw.
Oh, absolutely. I would expect them to. And that probably will come with substitutions. Elise Bennett seems to be a player that Seb Hines wants to get onto the pitch. Summer Yates with her hat-trick midweek. Julie Doyle are all options to bring on fresh legs and maybe take off an Ali Watt. Certainly you would keep Ovalle on, you would think. And from the other side, there's for Nathan Thackeray, Hannah Bedford perhaps, new signing Natalie Jacobs, Aline Gomes, all options. But I think the onus, to your point, is Orlando Pride need to get a little bit more from this game, given that they've got the 3 away games, or only 2 of them are in the NWSL. One's a different competition, but they have to get 3 points here today. Otherwise, things get very, very tight for the champions Orlando Pride.
The Pride sitting just 4 points clear of being on the outside looking in. That number 9 spot currently held by this Courage side. Watt comes away with the loose ball. Tried to feed Marta, but the pass picked off. And here's Manaka. Manaka into the 18. The cross, a bouncing ball. The Pride escape a little bit of danger there.
Good pressure coming from Courage there to keep a hold of that ball, get it near post. Courtney Vine made the run. She's got a bit of a nudge in her back, so she couldn't make contact. Nathan Thackeray says, thumbs up, you're looking good.
Again, Thackeray taking over as the interim head coach when Sean Nahas was relieved of his duties back in early August.
Nathan, the former goalkeeper coach, which means he's a good coach in my eyes.
There you
Not that
go.
I'm biased as a keeper.
No. Sams has Courtney Vine pressuring. Lemos. Angelina to Oyane. Lemos, beautiful ball. Watt is in all alone. Watt stops up, goes to ground.
And she was offside anyway, unfortunately, but that's an embarrassing end to that move. Once she was through, I thought it was borderline if she was offside, but once she's through, her pace, she's got to try and cut into the box or have a shot there, but in the end, she tries to go down the line, and there was nobody else up with her, so I don't know what she would have done if she'd have got to the line. Pull it back and hope for the best. In the end, I think she was saved the blushes by being offside.
Jordan boots it out. Danny Weatherholt making just her third start of the season, and there's a look at Macy Bell, who may have saved this game for her side. Courtney Vine unable to keep it in play.
Courtney Vine, over 30 appearances for Australia, also played for Sydney FC. Quite a few Australian connections. Weatherholt played for Melbourne Victory for a while. Kaylee Kurtz played in Canberra. I think a lot of players, especially back in the day, would spend the sort of rest months down under in Australia playing their soccer. Either
Sounds
that
like
or,
a beautiful place to play that time of year.
It's the opposite weather. So you
Right?
play summer here in the States and summer down in Australia. Mind you, if you're Oyane and you play in Spain for Real Madrid, then you have summer most of the year anyway if you're in Spain, so nothing wrong with that weather either.
Ali Watt in some clear discomfort here as she receives some attention.
It might be the right time to sort of take Ali Watt off and start looking at some of the other players on the bench who can impact. We didn't mention them. Summer Yates, Elise Bennett, Julie Doyle. In fact, here we go. They're going to make some change.
Courage making the first sub of this game. Hannah Betfort will come on in favor of Courtney Vine.
Now, Courtney Vine's battled hard. She just hasn't had enough service to sort of get on the end of. But at least there's a chance now for Hannah Betfort to show what she can do.
Yeah, it's another look at the contact made and the reason why Ali Watt is still down. Yeah, Courtney Vine drawing into the starting 11 this week. And it's mostly because of an injury. Definitely both sides, no stranger to injury. Barbara Banda being the biggest name out for Orlando, but certainly others. Kylie Danner is out. Rafaeli out.
Priska Chilufya.
Yes.
Another one out. But I guess that's the norm for this time of the year. Look, the family's all gathered, enjoying the day. I mean, you're going to get injuries. It just, obviously, when it happens to your world-class star player, Barbara Banda, then it's a bit of a knock. But as a team, you know there's going to be players who will be out for periods throughout a season. You just have to work your way around it.
And certainly for North Carolina, having lost a player like Jaden Shaw just recently, days ago, in fact, Brianna Pinto was excellent last week and unfortunately suffered an injury during training this week. That is why she was unavailable tonight. Good pressure by Watt. North Carolina unable to clear then, but now has possession. Shinomi.
A little bit risky from Marissa Jordan. She has that place now. It's hers to lose. And if you start giving the ball away at the back, you will lose that place.
Lose it. Up ahead now. Chavoshi taken down. Anna Morehouse appealing to the ref for the call, and will get it.
Hannah Bedford making herself and her presence felt right away, and that's going to be her job. A bustling number 9, get in there, push, shove, try get on the end of crosses, try and hold the ball up and bring others into play.
Hannah Bedford, an NWSL champ with Portland back in 2022. Also won the Shield in 2021, so she knows a thing or two about playoff chases and how to play at this time of year. Bedford also with 1 goal to her name this season. Here's Williams. Shinomi lifts it into space. Bedford's there, Lucy too, and it's cleared out at the last second. Now Marta looking to create some havoc.
Wow, Hannah Bedford had a chance there, and she didn't connect with it very well. It eventually sort of reached the goalkeeper, but if she'd have volleyed that with power, that could have been the opening goal within a couple of minutes of her coming onto the pitch.
Well, they call them game changers, and I guess that's why. Good opportunity, one of the best the Courage have seen all night. Oyane. It will be Courage ball. Danny Weatherholt. Bedford to Shinomi. Kaylee Kurtz fumbled it momentarily. Sends it back to Jordan. Contact is there. And the foul called, I believe, on McCutcheon.
Well, the crowd don't like it. The boos are ringing out. I think there's a bit of frustration building in the stadium now. Here's this chance. Great header back. There's the volley. Doesn't catch it right, and they can clear it. If Hannah Bedford connects better with that, that could have nestled in the back of the net. Really good chance for Courage.
You mentioned the Pride's upcoming schedule. Their next 2 in league play will be on the road at San Diego and Houston before coming home to host Portland. As for the Courage, well, they'll continue their road trip at Seattle next Sunday, then come home to host Louisville and Washington. So the Courage looking at facing 4 straight teams in a playoff spot. That's how you're going to get into the playoffs yourself, by beating those teams, but they've got to score some goals to do that. Now this chance into the box for Watt. Watt off her right foot has it deflect.
There's a whistle gone maybe for offside. Marta's saying, what's it for? Did well there, Ellie Watts. She brought it down. As long as she didn't use her arm, she brought it down really well, but then just couldn't get the volley in. Let's have a look again. Is she offside? Just there, yeah, she's a shoulder offside, but she brings it down really well and then goes to turn and just totally whiffs on the shot.
Tough night for Ali Watt.
I just think she's looking a bit tired now. Just 65 minutes in, I think is a really good time to get an alternative player on the pitch. She's carrying a bit of injury. You can see her right leg is all strapped up as well, but no changes as yet for Seb Hines.
Marta. Oyane. Oyane into the corner, makes a move past Weatherholt, and it goes out.
Oyane really battling down that right-hand side there. Weatherholt just giving a bit of a nudge. Sir Pine just having a chat there and standing up, maybe just feeling also the anxiety of the crowd now at 0-0. This would not be a good result for Orlando Pride. As you mentioned, 2 away games to come, sitting on the cusp. They're just inside the playoff line, but just 1 point from tonight with 2 away games to come is a very precarious situation.
Ryan Williams joins the attack, feeds Linehan. Knocked away by McCutcheon. This Pride side looking very different from a year ago when they were unstoppable on their way to their first championship. Turnover here, and Ovalle has Marta. Marta dribbling in. Marta into the box. The shot blocked again. Now Ovalle a chance, and it just goes wide.
That all comes from Marta. She drove them forward at 39 years of age. Absolutely magical. She kept on going. She kept on going. She tries a little shot here, a little toe poke shot. Then she gets the ball there, just rolls loose. And wow, that is close from Ovalle. She just hooks it a little bit as she hits it. It's on her right foot, which is not her strong foot. It's the left foot that is the magic one.
And that has been the story for Orlando lately. In a game of inches, they've been just that much off. And that can mean a world of difference at this time of year. We see Carson Pickett coming in, and you called it, Ali Lemos going off. Jordan boots it out. Shinomi. Lucy races ahead. Just barely keeps it in play as Weatherholt feeds Shinomi. Now Manaka. Manaka. Linehan. Williams is in the box. Linehan service. Headed toward goal. Save, and another save for Anna Morehouse.
Goalkeeper doing really well there, because there was one effort that she blocked and the ball came back in again. And have a look at this build-up on the right-hand side. Tyler, Lucy and Manaka at the far post. Lucy then comes in. That one hits the post, so the first one wasn't the keeper save. The next one, it seems, is when she gets up. Does she get a hand to it, the keeper? Perhaps she does, actually. Perhaps there is a bit of a right-handed save there from Anna Morehouse. Apologies to the English keeper. She gets up nice and quickly. That's the important part there as a keeper. Once you go down, you've got to spring straight back up so you can make the second save.
One of the best looks all night for the Courage. And Morehouse taking her time after all of that. Is it Ali Watt again down in pain? My goodness, you do wonder how long we will see her continue to battle through whatever she's dealing with.
I'm surprised she's still on. I would have thought it's time to bring on fresh legs anyway, and whatever knock she took, it seems to have been bothering her throughout this game.
Morehouse also receiving attention.
Not quite sure what she did there in that move, but having made a good save, it's a nice time to sit down and get the cameras on you.
Looks like we will indeed get a substitution here for the home side. A tough night for Ali Watt. Had a couple of chances called offside. Another couple of stumbles, if you will, that prevented her from having a good scoring opportunity. And definitely took a couple of knocks.
Well, she's up on her feet, which is good. You were mentioning a moment ago how things have changed for Orlando Pride, but here's a stat. Last year, they went 20 games in a row without trailing at any stage.
Oh.
Wow, I bet they wish they could have that run back again.
Well, and you think about the number of players that they retained from last year to this, and those players are probably sitting here thinking, what in the world? What is this? Not scoring, not leading, not winning. This is unfamiliar territory for most of these women.
Very much so.
Julie Doyle will replace Ali Watt. What kind of threat does she pose?
Good striker, just the 1 goal in 7 appearances this year, so not a prolific striker, but it's a fresh pair of legs. It's someone who's energetic, someone who wants to fight for a place in the team, has a point to prove.
Well, for all the scoring struggles the Pride have had, and they have had their struggles, just 5 goals in their last 8 matches, they also don't concede a lot of goals either. Only Kansas City and Gotham have conceded fewer goals. So they've got that defensive structure, but at some point, they believe they're going to break through offensively. We just haven't seen it in, what, 9 matches now.
And they have to be careful, because as we saw from Tyler Lucy only a few minutes ago, there's no reason why North Carolina Courage can't pop up with a goal. And Bedford had a chance earlier in the second half. So all the time it's at 0-0. The opposition grab one, you end up getting no points.
Oyane catches up to that. Kicked out by Kurtz. Corner coming for the Pride.
When you're struggling to score, sometimes a set piece is an ideal opportunity. Here's a short one coming up.
Angelina goes back to Ovalle. Ovalle lifts it, but too far for anyone.
Well, unfortunately, a wasted opportunity then. I was just thinking, that's, you know, if you can't score from normal play, open play, maybe a set piece is the moment when you can get a near post flick on. Or Sepp Hines has got his little team lineup in his hand there. He's trying to figure out what he can do to impact the game. He does have other strikers he can bring on, but probably doesn't want to take off Ovalle, his new big signing. Doesn't want to take off Marta, a superstar. And the rest of the players, Angelina, Haley McCutcheon, midfielders, you could bring on a striker for a midfielder, but then you leave yourself vulnerable to counter-attacks. So, difficult situation for Sepp Hines at the moment. Take a very brave coach to take off Marta or Jackie Ovalle.
Well into the 74th minute. That ball played ahead into the area, but cleared out by the Courage. Kurt's upset, to say the least, about something. Here's Angelina. Chavoshi. Back come the Courage, Peyton Linehan. Manaka tripped up and will get the call. Marta can't believe it. Another substitution as Aline Gomez will come in. Peyton Linehan takes a seat.
Aline's a quick player, great feet. Nice positive move from Nathan Thackeray. He can see now with 15 minutes to go, he's thinking to himself, we've got 1 point. We can go for all 3 here. Orlando Pride are not threatening enough for them to be overly worried. So this is a really positive move here, I think, from Thackeray.
Riley Jackson to deliver the set piece. Jackson lifts it in, headed toward goal, sealed off, and cleared out.
Wow, big scramble in there, bodies falling to the ground. The ball wasn't cleared initially. Got away with that one, Orlando Pride.
Shinomi. Jackson. Both sides just trying to defend mostly this game, or maybe they're trying to create, but unable to do so. Oyane trying to change that. Headed up. Bell plays it forward. Alini. Do you think the Courage are content with the 1 point?
I think they can smell blood in the water here. They're happy with the one, sure, but they need 3 points. They're the team that are outside of the playoff line just by 1 place. So they want all 3 points, and they probably feel they've got to this stage and given themselves the perfect position now with less than 15 minutes left to go and grab a winner.
Alini keeps it in play. Angelina will pick up the loose ball. Back come the Pride in on the attack. That shot cleared out. McCutcheon tries to go right back at it. McCutcheon to Pickett. Pickett serves it in. Out of the reach of Ovalle. Oyane goes back to Ovalle. Ovalle the service. Blocked on the way. Angelina to Ovalle. Another block. Courage not conceding much of anything.
Good pressure though from Orlando Pride, just keeping the ball, looking for balls down the line to try and get that cross in. Here we go.
Ovalle again smothered. Oyane, her shot attempt, or her cross attempt blocked.
There's some good defending going on from North Carolina Courage and Danny Weatherhold in particular.
Ovalle off her left foot. A bit too high for Pickett to get ahead on it.
Yeah, just had a little bit too much juice on that cross. Pickett's a decent header of the ball, but she was always struggling to get on the end of it. A good spell there from Orlando Pride. Since Carson Pickett's come on, they've got more coming down that left-hand side because she's a great crosser of the ball. Ovalle is a wonderful crosser on the right side. So there's double danger now for North Carolina Courage in terms of balls being whipped into the box.
Alini trying to keep it in play. Alini's still with it. Back for Kurtz. Marta controls. Chavoshi to Pickett. Pickett. And the shove from Pickett will cost her.
That was a little bit too obvious. Referee could see it. Her ball that she put in just before that just shows you what a wonderful striker of the ball she is. She drove it into the box. This is literally 10 minutes plus any added time here. So a chance for one of these players that were substitutes. Alini's come on, Hannah Bedford perhaps on the one side, Carson Pickett, Julie Doyle on the other. Those are the ones with the extra bit of gas in the tank because they've obviously come on as substitutes with fresh legs. They're the ones who can maybe turn this match around for either side.
Here's Emily Sams. Sams. Angelina tried to play it ahead, deflects out, and they say it goes off Manaka. Jackie Ovalle. Time winding down on Orlando, trying to make a late push at home. Julie Doyle. Some fancy footwork, goes back to McCutcheon. Ball played ahead for Sams. Oyane. Angelina, the service. A harmless floater into the arms of Jordan.
I'm just looking at the Courage's last couple of matches and thinking they've conceded late in both of their last games. Jon's daughter scored in the 88th against Nathan Thackeray's side. In the match against Utah Royals, Paige Monahan in the 94th minute. So that's something that's probably at the back of their mind, not to throw too many bodies forward.
So you're telling me there's a chance for a goal, a late goal in this game? Marissa Jordan boots it out. Orlando comes right back in with it. Marta taken down by not one but two different Courage players. Looks like it'll be Riley Jackson getting a call.
Martha just getting some contact there from one player, then a second. That was painful. She's had enough of those knocks in her life, I'm sure. There's a substitution happening.
Yeah, Haley McCutcheon will take a seat, and Summer Yates, fresh off a hat trick down in Panama, will come on to try for some late game heroics.
Well, this was the sub I was hoping to see. We do play players who are in a confident spell. The crowd enjoyed it coming on. You're taking off McCutcheon, who's more of a midfielder, attacking midfielder perhaps, but Summer Yates, slightly more than that, probably a wide attacking player.
Ovalle off the set piece. Ball is loose. Cleared out. And the whistle blows. Julie Doyle down in pain.
Well, I think you can see what she's saying there. I've got an elbow in the head. So once again, with these concussion situations, got to be very careful. Here we get to see it. Valle just lifts this one up. Beautiful ball in. She's getting pushed and shoved and knocked, and Kaylee Kurtz coming in really hard there.
Been a physical match here tonight.
It certainly has. But just going back to Seb Hines' substitution there, bringing on Summer Yates, more of a striker for Haley McCutcheon, midfielder. Just signals that he's prepared to take a little bit of a risk. Feels that maybe the Courage are sitting tight, holding on to that 1 point they've got, and that maybe he can risk only having one midfielder in Angelina. Otherwise, it's a very attacking lineup. Carson Pickett out wide on the left, Summer Yates, Jackie Ovalle on the right, Marta, Julie Doyle up front.
Well, fun fact for you, Summer Yates scored 5 goals last year, and 3 of them were game winners. So she does have that clutch gene, if you believe in such a thing.
Certainly Marta would love it. She's mouthing off there because she's probably upset with the way things are going, frustrated at home, and she's scored enough goals in her time to turn a match around, but probably just lacking that extra yard that she used to have years ago. Still a wonderful player, though. Valla's touch, I've seen it today. Some of those crosses she's put in, the weight on the ball is so good. She doesn't really have a great header of the ball in the box to hit, to sort of aim at. A Barbara Banda living off of Valla's crosses would be almost, the two of them would be almost unplayable.
We have that to look forward to next year. Unfortunately for all football fans, Barbara Banda is out for the remainder of the season. She suffered a hip injury right at the start of the second half of the season, and her absence has been noticeable, to say the very least.
Must be a frustrated crowd when you sit and watch a team do the double, win absolutely everything and destroy teams at Inter and Co Stadium. And then a year later, you're sitting in your same seat watching them struggle here at home against a team that's outside of a playoff position.
And same story last week. Again, just a 1-1 draw against Bay. So certainly some unfamiliar territory for this Orlando Pride team. Again, just 5 goals in their last 8 matches, none of which have been wins. Marta trying for some late magic. Marta cuts it back. Marta the cross. Out.
Unlike Marta there, when she hits that, I'm thinking she's going to get a ball bending in the near post, and she's annoyed with herself as well. It has been that frustrating day for Orlando Pride all round. Really haven't had a whole bunch of chances. The Macy Bell ball kicked off the line first half, perhaps. But second half, it's been Anna Morehouse has had to make the saves.
Yeah.
And Tyler Lucy, Hannah Bedford had a chance she didn't connect with. So it's not like the Courage don't deserve this. I think if you were to look at it, you think a draw at this stage anyway seems like a pretty fair result.
Here is Summer Yates. Manaka trying to play it ahead. Able to find Ryan Williams. Williams has Alini. Alini gaining pace. Alini into the box. Takes a shot. Kick save. Rebound comes loose and they score! Shinomi!
Anna Morehouse can't believe it. Neither can the defenders. But that's a really good run from Alina. She had the pace. She had the fresh legs we talked about. That's what made the difference. Got in the box there, caused mayhem. And then Shinomi with those legs, those young legs, 20 years of age, able to keep up. Here goes the run. Avoids the tackle there. Forces a save from Anna Morehouse, and Shinomi, perfect timing, thumps that into the back of the net. Worked really hard, Shinomi. You can see her in the middle there, just running into the box, hoping that the ball would come her way, and it does. And that could very well be the winning goal from a team that's conceded a couple of late goals. They now have a late goal of their own.
And it is the first NWSL goal for the Japanese international. Shinomi with a game-changing goal. You can see the look on Anna Morehouse's face. Made one brilliant stop, unable to make a second. Was there anything you would have liked to see different out of Anna Morehouse there?
I just think the picking up of Alina wasn't very good on that right-hand side. She's run a long distance, but they took a gamble, Orlando. They played the extra striker. They only had Angelina as a midfielder. You can see the crowd just can't believe what they're seeing this season. And Anna Morehouse has made the save at the near post from Alini. So in that sense, a little bit unlucky that it should spin out and go straight to Shinomi.
Bedford try to go back to Manaka if the score should hold, as we are now into stoppage time. These 3 points would launch the Courage into a playoff spot for the moment. They would pass Racing Louisville for that 8th and final spot, knowing that Louisville has yet to play tonight.
Well, there's still 10 minutes of added time by the looks of it, so there still could be a few more surprises in store for us all.
Marta still in this game. She'll throw it in now for the Pride to pick it. Angelina to Sams. Ovalle. Ovalle dancing on the ball, defended well. And a turnover. At least that's what the Courage think. I believe the call actually went in favor of the Pride.
Definitely got a deflection. It should be the Courage's ball, but let's see if Orlando Pride can take advantage of the little bit of fortune.
Ovalle to Oyane. Oyane, her cross attempt blocked out by Weatherholt, who's been doing that all second half.
She has. She's defended so well. Interesting to see Natalie Jacobs come on for Courage there. Defender come in there and just hold on to this 1-0 lead.
Came on in favor of Manaka, I believe. That ball was in front. And the Courage fans can take a deep breath after a good chance for Pickett.
Marissa Jordan, I'm very happy to have scooped that one up. Anything could have happened here with that ball whipped into the box, not dealt with by the defense. It's flicked on, and to be fair, there wasn't much power behind it, so it wasn't really a threat for Marissa Jordan. But if you're Courage, you want to keep the ball up this half of the pitch now. It's going to be a very nervy remaining 7 minutes or so.
Shinomi. Shinomi coming over from Japan, signing a 3-year deal back in January. Was a youth international teammate of Manaka, so I'm sure Manaka had a lot of good things to say about the organization and probably played a role in convincing her to sign with the team. Shinomi actually played in Sweden last season, so she's been all over the globe.
See how deep Courage are now. They're in a low block, final third of the pitch. They're just going to dig in, you would think, and try and boot the ball clear and to see out these final few minutes. Riley Jackson there, just 19 years of age. Shinomi 20, Manaka 21. They have worked tirelessly in midfield. When you look at Alina, is only 20 as well. You think there's a good future here for Nathan Thackeray and the North Carolina Courage if they can keep all these youngsters together.
Yeah, a win would go a long way, not just for their playoff chances, but certainly just for their confidence as a group that they are indeed building something for the future.
Might it be their second win back-to-back? It's been quite a few games before that, before they had a win, so you would think that's a turning of the corner, perhaps.
They've only won back-to-back games twice so far this season, so this would be the third time. A step in the right direction toward building some consistency. Ovalle to Angelina. Oyane. Ovalle off her left foot, curling in, Headed right back out. Now Sams settles. Oyane, service, headed out. Alini keeps it in for the Courage.
She's done well, Alini, since she's come on. She's powerful, she's a good runner, and she's held the ball up really well. Created that goal, by the way. She's made a massive impact.
Well, should the score hold, it will be more questions than answers once more for this Orlando Pride team. A true head scratcher to figure out how to get them back to their winning ways, as they are currently in danger of going winless in 9 straight games. Something unthinkable at the start of the season.
Here's that run again. Great legs, great running ability, good strike. And she caused so many problems. She drew the goalkeeper to the near post, the defenders to the near post. When it came out, Shinomi had a bit of space in which to get to that ball. Look at the excitement and the celebration, and they know that they're probably back in the playoff position, so they can just hold on to this lead, and that's hugely exciting for the North Carolina Courage players.
That Racing Louisville game just underway now in Utah, so certainly the Courage will be keeping an eye on that as it plays out.
And you just wonder if this result holds. 2 away matches for Orlando Pride coming up. If they don't get much from those 2, they could very well be out of a playoff spot and really in deep, deep trouble. San Diego away, Houston Dash away. 2 teams battling to get points.
Sams lifts it in too high.
Expect more from Emily Sams. That's just, it looked like a very tired strike of the ball there. There was no texture on it, there was no bending it, there was no whipping of the ball.
And that's where you start to wonder, you know, what is it going to take to shake this funk out of the Pride squad? Because it seems to be a bit of an epidemic throughout the team, where whether it's confidence or frustration, whatever the issue really is right now, they've got to hurry up and fix it. They've got 5 weeks left in the regular season, and they've got a title to defend. But they won't have a chance if they can't get into the playoffs.
Well, absolutely, that's step number 1.
Marta into the box, dancing on the ball.
There's another set piece. As we said earlier, these can be the opportunities to bundle the ball in from one of your big center halves, but the service in has to be good for a start.
Late corner coming now for the Pride. Anna Morehouse across midfield. They go short with it. Marta, the cross, Pickett takes a shot, blocked, the rebound chance, and Jordan gets a glove on it.
Wow, what a chance. What a save, what an opportunity. Nice little play here. They didn't send anybody out, Courage. Ball comes across, that one there just blocked. That's the defender who heads that over.
Ooh. Wow. Angelina for another corner. Cleared out by the Courage. What an effort defensively tonight for this North Carolina squad. Ryan Williams shaken up.
They have put their body on the line. Let's have a look here. There's going to be the strike coming in. Body behind it from Summer Yates, and there's the header going over. Summer Yates must have thought that was her 4th goal in the space of 3 or 4 days. And there's the hugs.
No quicker way to make friends with your new team, right, than to make plays like we just saw Natalie Jacobs make.
Brilliant. Bravery to keep your head in that position. It's human instinct to try and get your head out the way, but Natalie Jacobs stands firm. She's been brilliant in the short time she's been on. So has Danny Weatherholt in her commitment in that left back position. Her tackles have been amazing. Blocking the ball. Macy Bell off the line. This has been a fantastic defensive performance by North Carolina Courage.
Again, Marissa Jordan making the start for the third straight week in favor of Casey Murphy, and she made her NWSL regular season debut just a few weeks ago when she came in. So the fact that she has really grabbed onto this starting position, you can point to her help, right? Her teammates certainly have made impact in this game, but she's earned her right to continue starting in goal.
Oh, absolutely. If you keep clean sheets, you make a couple of saves, you organize your defenders. And as Nathan Thackeray said, it's hers to lose. And right now, she's got both hands on that position. And that's always tough when you're the goalkeeper who has been the regular, and now you're out in Casey Murphy's case. I mean, she's got 20 caps.
Right.
U.S. Women's National Team level. So it is a little bit humbling to be put on the bench when you've achieved those levels, but I'm sure she will take the challenge and fight back and see if she can't get herself back in that team.
Casey Murphy made 51 consecutive starts. So you're right, this has definitely got to be lighting a fire under her, but that's probably what you want, a healthy competition for that position, especially this time of year, and if they do make the playoffs.
And if your coach is actually also a goalkeeper coach, then you can't say he doesn't know what he's doing.
There you go. Time running out for the home side. Riley Jackson boots it long just for good measure. Shinomi, the lone goal scorer tonight. Her first NWSL goal, and that will do it. It's a game winner for the Japanese international and a huge 3 points on the road for the North Carolina Courage. Marissa Jordan earning her first career clean sheet. And for the moment, the Courage occupy the 8th and final spot in the chase for the playoffs. We'll be right back to wrap it all up from Orlando. Stay tuned.